In this video, I'll give you some insights about how I clicked these classic portraits with analog and digital cameras. I'm Girish Menon, and I just show up on your screen and start talking about photography. I post new videos all the time which will help you to click better pictures. So please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out. I clicked this picture with 800 ISO film, that's the Fuji Press 800 ISO film, pushed to 3200. What that means is even though it's a 800 ISO film, we expose it as if it were 3200 ISO and we process it as if it were 3200 ISO. That's called push processing, and that's a two-stop push from 800 to 1600 to 3200. I set my aperture value to 1.8 on my 50mm lens, and that was the widest possible aperture on this lens. My shutter speed was 1/60th of a second. That's the slowest shutter speed at which I can get sharp pictures with this lens. Remember, no image stabilization on analog cameras. And the ISO was 3200. So all the three values of the exposure triangle were maxed out. I couldn't go any wider on my aperture, I couldn't go any slower on my shutter, I couldn't go any higher on my ISO. I love clicking pictures, portraits especially, in low light. The lesser the light, the more fun it is for me. I clicked this with a 100 ISO black and white film pushed to 400 ISO. So that two-stop push again from 100 to 200 to 400 adds that bit of contrast and slightly adds to the grains of the image. I clicked this person at this village where I would visit often to have a look at some ancient architecture. He was the eldest person in that village at the time when I met him. I met him 3 or 4 times over 2 or 3 years, and he ultimately passed away. His daughter believes that he was 102 years old when he passed away. This man was the second eldest in the village. Here again it's a 100 ISO film pushed to 400 ISO. Once again, Anjuna Beach, 100 ISO pushed to 400. I love these images. I had to climb up a rock to get at eye level to this performer. This is a 100 ISO color film pushed to 400 ISO. Pushing a film even by one stop adds contrast and grains. Back in the days when we used film, we actually did things to increase the grains of the film because those grains added so much more character to the image. When I see people today get upset about the grains produced at 1600 ISO on a digital camera, I find that pretty funny. Moving on to digital cameras, I love the field of view of a 35mm lens on an APS-C camera. I love clicking portraits at 35mm on an APS-C body. This girl is a Kalbelia dancer. Kalbelias are a snake charming tribe in India's Thar desert. I clicked this picture with a full frame camera and a 24 to 105mm zoom lens. This image actually surprised me. I clicked this with an Olympus Pen EP3 and a 17mm 1.8 prime lens. At that time, I couldn't believe that something so beautiful could come out of a camera so small. One of the main advantages of digital cameras when you're clicking pictures in low light is that you can change the ISO value from one image to the other, and present-day cameras give you incredibly good image quality even at ridiculously high ISO values. An incident light meter is a pretty useful tool when clicking portraits, especially in low light, because it speeds up the process of exposure. A small Sekonic light meter such as this one is relatively inexpensive and can go a long way in improving the exposure of your pictures. I have the link in the description for your inspection. Now let's look at some environmental portraits. This is a bunch of people in India's Thar desert. I was with a couple of my friends, Anne and Kari, who are from London and Denmark. And these people, these wonderful people in the desert, were very curious to see them. And I think that curiosity shows in this picture. This is Shravana Belagola, which is a very important site for the Jain community. It's a very important pilgrimage site for the Jain community in India. I clicked both these pictures with a 16 to 35 2.8 lens, and I clicked this picture in Meghalaya with a 24mm pancake lens. I hope you enjoyed looking at my pictures and learned something that will help you to click better pictures. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have a look at the other videos that I have for you.